Mr. Obernolte, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I rise in support of SB 328. This is a pretty momentous change to the schedule of millions of Californians in high school, and so I think we need to be very thoughtful and deliberate when we think about doing this. Fortunately for us, there has been voluminous research on this topic. Because start times vary across school districts, not only across the state but across the country, and sometimes those school districts are right next to each other, it is a very easy topic to research. And study after study after study after study have shown this to be beneficial to our school children. There are studies that show that shift to a later start time results in students doing better in classes that are earlier in the day. There's another study that shows that they do better in classes throughout the day. There's another study that says that this directly impacts high school graduation rates. And there's yet another study that says that this has a very beneficial impact on college acceptance rates and on SAT scores. And you don't have to cherry pick these studies. All of them universally show this benefit. I can tell you from personal experience, I've had several children for the last couple of years in high school. Our high school starts at 7 o'clock in the morning. If you have a zero period, it starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. So my children have to leave the house at 6:30 in the morning, even if they don't have a zero period. And even with their minimalist approach to personal hygiene, that means they have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to school. And so I've seen this progression as they have transitioned and struggle with this transition to getting up earlier and earlier. It's also had an impact on our family life. We used to, when they were in middle school, have a family breakfast every morning where we would sit down as a family, break bread, and talk about the day to come. And we did away with that practice in high school because we could see they were already struggling. Now, an adult faced with the challenge of having to get up early on a regular basis would respond by going to bed earlier. But I can assure you from personal experience, that is not the way that teenage children think. And they were chronically sleep deprived their entire time through high school. This would fix that. So why would we not do this? Well, one argument is the argument of local control, that our local school board should be the one to decide what time schools start. And I'm sensitive to that argument because I come from local government, as many of you do, and I believe in local control. However, I think education is kind of a special case because in the case of education, the state of California contributes a large percentage of the budgets of these school districts. And so we essentially are the biggest customer for the product that these school districts are delivering. And so we have a right to weigh in on the process by which our children are educated. And we do weigh in on those things. We weigh in on curriculum, we weigh in on number of instructional days, we weigh in on even the nutritional content of school lunches. So us weighing in on minimum start time would neither be unusual nor draconian. But also there's the argument that, that maybe we can do for school districts what they struggle to do for themselves politically. And I'm very sensitive to that, and I received a couple of letters from school board members who would like to do this for their school districts but feared the political repercussions, because anytime you shift schedules like this, you're going to create people from whom this is more convenient and people from whom this is less convenient. And the people that are less convenient and the people that are inconvenienced are the ones that are going to show up at that school board meeting. But colleagues, when the data is this convincing, I think that we are compelled to act. There's another study that you haven't heard about yet. It's not an academic study, but an economic study that says that shifting to later school start time is the single most economically advantageous thing we can do to improve education in California. It's the most cost-effective way of improving our graduation rates, and that is a very compelling statistic. I urge and I vote on SB 328. Colleagues, the time has come.